Do you want to learn how to play Beast in the easiest way? Let me show you how. Hi players, bonjour from Paris, my name is Asaf and welcome to my channel Easy Board Games. Today I'm going to show you how to play Beast by Studio Midhall. This is a 2 to 4 player game of hidden movement and some elements of hand management and drafting. As always, if you learned something new or if you saw something that you like, please consider subscribing to my channel and help me grow this amazing community. Like and comment on the video, let me know if you like the explanation or if there is something that I should add or something that I should leave out. And stay tuned in for my next video where I will compare between 4 of my favorite hidden movement games. Ready to wreak havoc on the land as the Beast or save it as the Hunters? Let's go to setup. Alright guys, so the first thing that we need to do is to choose a contract. Now we have 4 possible contracts that we can choose from. I've chosen the Great Cleansing. It's going to be 2 to 3 players. We have some flavor text right over here that right now we don't care so much about. And over here in this section, it shows us which side of the map we need to play with. So over here we can see that it is called the Drenched Lands. After that, we have some conditions for the setup and also some conditions for the end of contract and some other things that we'll talk about a little bit later. So after we have chosen the contract, we're going to put it aside and we're going to put the right side of the board in the playing area. So as you can see, this part is called the Drenched Lands. The next thing that we want to do is to populate all the board with the different animals and settlers. So we have 3 kinds of animals, that is sheep, boar and bear, and we have 2 kinds of settlers, which is a farmer or a noble. So we will just take all the different tokens and we'll start populate with them the map. So over here, for example, we're going to put 1 sheep. Let's do that for all the board. Now the player who's playing the Beast will need to choose which kind of beast he would like to play. So I have chosen Fangrir. So on this side we have some flavor text that we're not going to read right now, and on the other side we're going to have all the stats. Now pay attention that the player who's playing the Beast will need to sit in the southern part of the map in order for him to face north. Because I want to make things a little bit clearer, I'm just going to leave everything that belongs to the Beast on this camera. Then we're going to take the corresponding Beast standee and we're going to put it at the Beast starting location, which is this place right over here. Then the Beast will take the 4 ability cards and the 3 corresponding summons. As you understood already, the Hunters will be seated at the north side of the map, facing south. So the first Hunter that Mr. Chouette has chosen will be Asar, which is right over here. And also Mr. Chouette have chosen Helga. So we're going to put it right over here. Each Hunter will take the corresponding ability cards. And of course, the Hunters will take the corresponding standees. Another thing that I find super helpful in this game is, if you have it, the minimap. So this is something that the Beast is going to use in order to all the time make sure it remembers what is their current location and where did they go from in the current turn. So in order to follow that, we're just going to take this small token that I hope is a little bit in focus. And right now we're going to put it in the current location, which is the Beast starting location. Next to the minimap, we're going to put the Beast movement cards, which are these ones right over here. The last thing that the Beast will take is the movement tokens that we have right over here. And also this will go to their playing area. Next to the board, accessible to everyone, we're going to put all the habitat tokens, health tokens, and the grudges, and also all the upgrade tokens, the ancient power, and the watchtowers. Then we're going to take all the cards that are marked as beastly talent. We're going to give them a good shuffle, and we're going to put 3 of them face up next to the playing area. The same thing we're going to do with the cards that are called Hunter Item. Next, we'll go back to the contract board and see what is the next step of the setup that we need to do. So right over here, we can see that the Beast starts with 1 grudge and each Hunter starts with 1 grudge also. The last thing that we will do for finishing the setup is the player who's playing the Beast will perform 2 movements. So let's take a look again on these cards that we have right over here, that these are the movement cards. And we see here that we have south, west, east, north, and even no movement. That means stay in the same location. we will need to choose 2 of these cards and place them right over here on the main board. So each time we will choose a card, we'll put it over here, then the second, the third, the fourth, and so on. So let's just, for the sake of it, say that the beast will want to go first north. So we're going to take this card right over here, and we're going to put it in this kind of way. The other movement that the beast will take is going to the west. So again, the beast will take this card and we'll put it right over here. Now, to be honest with you guys, I think it's going to be helpful, if not essential, that the beast will mark in some sort of way the movement on the minimap. So what I like to do personally is to use some of these upgrade tokens, but you can feel free and use any kind of tokens in order to mark how the beast moved. So as you can see right now, this was the starting location of the beast, and then we decided to go north, and then we decided to go west. So this small towers of tokens is actually what is the current location of the beast. If we will look at the big map, basically what we decided to go is north, and then we decided to go west. So the current location of the beast is right over here. Obviously, the hunters don't know it. They just know that the last known location of the beast is right over here. The last thing that we need to do for the setup after the beast has taken the 2 steps is to locate the hunters. Each hunter can locate itself in one of the villages, and there can be more than 1 hunter in each village. So let's say that the first hunter, Helga, will be over here in this village, and the second hunter, Asaf, will be in this one. Let's see what is the winning condition for the beast or for the hunters. So let's go back again to the contract board, to the end of the contract section. Here we can see that the beast wins when 2 settlers, either farmers or nobles, and we can see that because this sign is either yellow or dark blue, greenish, something like that, are dead. And the hunters win when the beast is dead or when the final night is reached. And we see that at the end of each night, we're going to have a certain bonus if we're going to meet a certain condition. So over here, for example, we're seeing that at the end of the first night, we will have a beast reward of turning 1 noble into 1 villager, and soon we'll understand why it's important for us, if we manage to kill 2 sheep or 1 boar. On the other side, a hunter will receive a grudge reward and will be able to move up to 1 step if the beast didn't manage to kill any one of the settlers. Each game of beast will be divided into 3 phases. The first one is dawn, the second one is day, and the third one is night. So we already know, after reading the contract, that we're going to have 3 nights. We're going to have the first one, the second one, and then if the beast didn't manage to complete their mission until the end of the final night, they're going to lose the game. During the dawn phase, all the players will participate in draft, which they will gain action cards that we have over here, and these cards will be at their disposal for the upcoming day phase. So how does the drafting work? First of all, we'll take these action cards and give them a good shuffle. And then it depends how many players are playing in order to know how many cards we're going to distribute to each player. This contract that we chose is 2 to 3 players. So me playing the beast, it's 1 player, and Mr. Shwet over here is going to play the 2 hunters. Since we're doing a 2-player game, each player is going to receive 6 cards. Now the beast with these cards is going to choose 1 card to keep in its possession, and the rest of the cards will move to the hunter. The hunter will choose 2 cards, and the rest of the cards will go to the beast. And we're going to repeat this step until the hunter has 8 cards and the beast has 4. The hunter then will distribute equally the cards between the 2 hunters, and later at the game he will play with 2 separate hands. That means that cards will not be able to go from one hunter to the other. At the end of the dawn phase, each hunter will have 4 action cards and 3 ability cards, and the beast will have 4 action cards and 4 ability cards. Now let's talk about the second phase, which is the day. In this phase, players are going to take turns, and each time each player will play one card or two cards or zero, with some restrictions that we'll talk about in just a few more seconds. The beast will start with it, and then going clockwise, each hunter is going to take their own turn. The game will continue like this round after round after round until all the players have passed. That means that they choose or can't play any more cards. So now we're going to start the game. Let's play a few turns and see exactly how does the game go. First of all, let's talk about how do the cards work. So when we're talking about the action cards, we see that they are separated into two sections. The upper section is only for the hunters, while the bottom section is only for the beast. Each time a player is playing, and it doesn't matter if it is the beast or the hunter, they'll be able to play up to 2 cards. But it's important to understand that if they decide to play 2 cards, they have to be with 2 different symbols. So right here on this card of haste, we're seeing that it has this orange reddish sign, and over here we have this green or turquoise color. So if, as the beast, I would like to play 2 cards, I will have to play this kind of combination. It means that I will not be able, for example, to play this combination. So the 3 main things that the beast can do in their turn is, first of all, to move, just like we saw before we started the game at the setup. The second thing that the beast can do is to attack. And the third thing is to summon a wolf. Of course, we're going to have some other things like transforming a nearby location or gaining a beastly talent or getting a grudge, but those kind of things are a part of an action that we're already going to take. So just to make sure that we understand, let's go over again a movement using this card. The name of this card is Haste. As we can see, this is an orange action card, and it says in any order, move 2 steps and then transform each nearby location. So we're going to put this card right over here to show the other hunters what we decided to play, and then we're going to execute the action itself. So we know according to the minimap that our current location is right over here. So the first thing that we will do is to move 2 steps. In order to do that, we will choose 2 of the cards. The first card that I will choose to play as the beast is the no movement card. So I'm going to take it and put it right over here on the board. And the second card is going to the north. So again, I'm going to take this card and put it also in the active movement. Let's just make sure that we also mark it in our minimap right over here. Now, the other thing that we have is called transform each nearby location. Each beast has a specific habitat location that corresponds with it. In the case of Fangri, for example, it is the forest. If Fangri, for example, would like to use this card that is called Gather the Pack, we see that it has to be on a location of a forest. We can see it by the icon of the forest that we have on the card. So we know that there are specific traits that Fangri will be able to use only if there are forests. And this is why transform specific locations is basically the way of Fangri or other beasts to alternate the map to their benefit. So now that we know that this is our current location, we can transform each nearby location. And again, nearby means all the locations that are connected to that specific location with a road, but also the current location. So we will take 3 of these tokens from the main supply, and we're going to place 1 over here, 1 over here, and the last one over here. The second card that Fangri will play is called Summon Wolf. And it says in any order, we will have this icon that means summon and move 1 step. So after deciding playing this card, we're going to put it right over here so the hunters can see which card did we decide to play. And now let's talk a little bit about the summon. So each beast has some summons that can help them. Summons are placed and controlled by the summon symbol that we saw on the card. And when they're being played, you can either choose to place a new summon or have each of your summon take 1 action. The actions of each summon is either move 1 step, attack for 1 damage, or use their unique ability that is stated on the beast board right over here in this section. When we have a new summon, we need to place it up to 2 steps away from the actual location. And don't forget that all the summons have to be placed on a specific habitat that is stated as we saw before, also on the beast mat that is right over here. So we already know that this is the current location, and we can put it up to 2 steps away, but it has to be in a forest. So let's take the first summon standee that we have over here, and we will place it in this location. So obviously the summons are completely visible, there is no hidden movement with them. And don't forget that when we used this card, Summon Wolf, we can in any order summon or use one of the summons and then move 1 step, or first of all move and then use the summon. So what we would like to do is to move 1 step to the north. So we will take this card over here that says the north, and we're going to put it with the rest of the cards. And let's mark it also in the minimap. When we're discarding an ability card, it doesn't matter if it's one of the beasts or the hunter, we're going to discard it face up next to the player mat. And when we're discarding an action card, just like we have over here, we're going to have a common discard pile for the hunters and the beast. And I'm going to put it face up, which is accessible to all the players. The beast has finished their first turn, and now clockwise we're going to go to the first hunter, which is Helga. Before moving on to the hunter's turn, let's talk about all the other actions the beast can take in its turn. Let's talk about the next thing, that is attack. So let's say that the beast decided to use this card that is called Charge. The section that is relevant to it, of course, is the bottom section, and it says, in any order, attack and move 1 step. So of course, just for the example, let's say that the current location of the beast is right over here. When we're doing attack, the basic attack of each hunter or beast, and I'm saying basic attack because this is something that can change later on when we will talk about upgrades in the night phase, what we will do is cause 1 damage to the character or animal that is situated in the same location as the beast or as one of the summons. So since we know that each ship has only 1 health, when the beast will perform an attack in this location, it will basically kill the ship. So a few things will happen at this point. First of all, we're going to remove the ship from the board, unfortunately, because it was pretty sweet. And the beast is going to receive some sort of a reward. So right over here, we can see that is marked that every time the beast is killing a ship, it will receive 1 grudge. So we will take from the main supply 1 grudge and we'll put it in our possession next to the player mat. But it's important for me to say that the beast will receive a grudge only if it was the one that laid the, let's say, the final hit, or it was the one that caused the animal or the villager death. But if it was one of the summons that did that, it will not receive the grudge. It will help in order to achieve the same night goal or even kill one of the villagers, but only if the beast was the one that killed this animal or settler. Only in this case it will receive the reward of the grudges. The second thing that will happen here is that the beast is being revealed, and that means that we can take the standee of the beast and put it in this location. So now we can take all the active movement cards that we have over here and discard them, basically put them back in the pile of cards that we have next to the minimap. And now we will sort of reset the minimap, and that means that we can take down all the small tokens if you use them, of course, from the minimap. But in any case, we will take this small token and place it in the current location of the beast, because this is the known location, or at least the last known location of the beast. The last action that I would like to show you with the beast is to receive a beastly talent. Beastly talents are all of these cards that we put here during setup, and basically it's just more cards that the beast will be able to acquire and use in its turn. After the beast has chosen one of these cards facing up, we do not replenish these 3 cards from the deck. We will do it when we will go to the night phase. Now let's go over to the turn of the first hunter, which is Helga. And here we have the same thing. This hunter will choose up to 2 cards to play, with the same logic. That means that we're going to choose two cards from two different colors. Let's start with the movement of a hunter. Hunters basically move exactly like the beast, but of course their movement is not hidden. So every time a hunter will perform movement, it will directly move its token from one location to another. So let's take a look at the first action card that Helga will play, and that is Rush. Again, in this card we completely ignore the bottom part because only the upper part is relevant to the hunters. Here we're having move up to 2 steps. So Helga knows that the beast is somewhere around here, just not so sure where exactly. So the first step that it will do will be to move right over here. Now it's super important that the beast will keep track on where the hunters are going, because if a hunter is stepping on a location that the beast was or is, and that means a location that corresponds to one of the active movement cards that we have right now on the board, it will have to leave a trail token that we have right over here. Right now, as the first step, it's not the case, but don't forget that this hunter can move up to 2 steps. So the next step that this hunter, Helga, would like to do is to move right over here. Now we can see that the hunter is stepping on a place that the beast visited previously, and that means that again, it corresponds to one of the active movement cards that we have on the board. So the beast will take one of these trail tokens and will put it under the hunter. The next card that Helga will play is called Hunt, and it says search your location and attack. So Helga is going to play this card because it suspects that the beast is right now in this current location. Unfortunately for Helga, this is not the current location of the beast. As you remember, the beast is situated right over here. So this card will actually won't do anything. But just for the sake of the explanation, let's say that this is the current location of the beast. In this case, we will again reveal the beast, and that means that we will take this standee of the beast and put it in this location. We will discard all the active movement cards from the board, and we will again reset the minimap. Now, because this card says attack, Helga will do 1 damage to the beast, which is the basic damage. When we need to apply damage to one of the characters or even to the animals, we will take one of these tokens from the main supply, and we will put it, if it's an animal, then under it, or if it's the beast or one of the hunters, we're going to put it exactly on the player mat. Of course, this is not Helga that took the damage, it's the beast, so we're going to put this token on Fangrir's player mat. By playing these 2 cards, Helga basically finished its turn, and now the turn is going to pass to Asaf, the other hunter. But before we're moving on, let's just see what are the other possible actions for the hunters to do. For example, one of the cards will be Adapt, and it says, in any order, move to any village and then gain an item. So by moving to any village, it's some sort of a teleport. We'll be basically able to take one of the hunters, the one that played this card, and move it to any one of the villages on the map. A hunter can also do transformation to one of the habitat locations on the map, and when a hunter is doing that, we're going to take one of these village tokens that we have over here and put it in the corresponding location. The other part of this action that we have in Adapt is to gain an item. So just like the beast has the beastly talent that we saw before, the hunters also have hunter items that they will be able to acquire and use in different circumstances. So let's take, for example, this card right over here that is called a fire trap. Now, as you can see, we have something that is a little bit new over here, and that is the question mark on top of this icon. First of all, the hunters will need to pay the cost of the card, which is 1 grudge, as we can see right over here. Then they will need to choose 2 things. First of all, on which habitat they would like to place the trap. That means on either cave, swamp, forest, or even villages. And the second thing they will need to choose is on which zone they would like to place the trap. So as we can see right here, pretty much in the middle, we have this white line that separates between the 2 different zones that we have on this map. So let's say, for example, that the hunters decided to put the trap on this zone right over here. So they chose the zone, and that means that they're going to put the trap over here on this section. Then they will need to choose on which habitat they would like to place the trap. And that means, for example, that if they have chosen the forest, they will take this token and they will put it underneath the trap card. So of course, again, it will be hidden from the beast. And that means that we can pretty much say that sort of on every forest location in this specific zone, there is a trap. If the beast will be revealed because it attacked someone, or maybe the hunters have discovered it on this specific habitat, and it doesn't matter if it's going to be this place with the forest or this one, in every forest habitat in this zone, then the first thing that will happen is that the trap will be triggered, causing 1 damage to the beast. After we have resolved all the outcomes from the trap, we're simply going to discard this card. 2 things that are important to remember. The first one is the traps do not trigger if they have been played when a beast is already revealed. And that means that if, for example, we already knew that this is the current location of the beast, then a hunter will not be able to perform movement and then plant a trap in this location and activate it. The second thing is there is a limit of 3 traps per zone. The next thing that I would like to show you is something that is called a watchtower. So this is something that the hunters will be able to build with certain cards. In this case, it will be a hunter item. So over here we have something that is called an outpost. As we can see, again, this is a red kind of card, and we will need to pay 1 grudge in order to play it. And then it says place 1 watchtower on your location. So let's say, for example, that Helga has decided in her turn to use this card that is called Hatred. The first thing that she will need to do is to pay 1 grudge for it. So she will take this a coin of 1 grudge and will put it in the general supply. The next thing that Helga will do is to take one of these watchtowers from the general supply and put it in her current location. This is something that will stay constantly on the board unless one of the summons or the beast will attack it. Any amount of damage that will be dealt to the watchtower will destroy it. Every time one of the hunters will be at the same location as a watchtower, the beast will have to put a trail token in any one of the adjacent locations if it passed there. And that means if we have a card, an active movement card that is corresponding to one of the adjacent locations. In our case specifically, we know that the current location of the beast is right over here. So in the current location of Helga, we already have a trail token, but in this case, the beast will have to add another trail token right over here. After our next hunter, Asar, has finished its turn, again it will be the turn of the beast to play, and then we'll go on and on until all the players have passed, and then we will finish the day phase and we will go to the night phase. The first thing that we will do when we have the night phase, we will check again the contract to see if any character, if it's the beast or one of the hunters, has achieved a reward. So for example, we can see that for the beast to have a reward, it needed to kill 2 sheep or 1 boar. Unfortunately, the beast, let's say, did not achieve this, so we will not be able to turn one a noble person to a farmer, but if the beast would have done that, then we can take on the main board one of the nobles that we have, for example, over here in this village or on this one, and change it to a normal farmer. Then we will check the reward section for the hunters. When we go to the second night, we can see that we have different rewards for different achievements from the first night. So we are not able to complete, let's say, the achievements from the first night if we're already in the second night. Then we will discard and reset all the different cards. So if, for example, we still have in our hand some action cards, we're going to discard all of them. Any beastly talent cards that we have over here or hunter items that are still face up next to the board will be discarded and will be replenished with 3 new cards from the deck. And all the ability cards that we used will go back to our hand. The third thing that we will do is to restore health. So we would remove wounds from all animals and settlers. If, for example, the beast or one of the summons attacked one of the animals or one of the settlers and didn't manage to kill them, then all the wounds that we have put under them will be discarded to put back in the general supply. If a hunter has died during the day phase, we will restore that hunter to full health and we will respawn it in any settlement that he will choose. So now would be a good time to talk about death in this game. So of course, as we saw in the contract, the moment that the hunters manage to kill the beast, the game is immediately over and the hunters have won. But if a hunter is dead during the day phase by the beast or one of the summons, the hunter then removes their standee from the map, and again if it was the beast that landed the killing blow, then the beast will gain 1 grudge and will randomly pick one of the hunter's action cards to add to the beast's hand. A hunter that died will not receive the rewards that we talked about in the contract in the first step of the night phase. But again, when we will restore health to all the creatures and all the settlers, then the hunter will come back to the game in one of the settlements to his choice. The fourth step of the night phase will be upgrading. Now, as you can see over here, and of course this will be on the hunter's playmat also, we're going to have several upgrading options. So we have two things. We have the red upgrades, which are passive upgrades that the beast or the hunters will be able to use in the next day. And also we have a yellow upgrade. So the yellow upgrade is something that happens only one time, and that's it. It's not a passive ability. For each upgrade, there is a cost. So as we can see right over here, it's going to cost 2 grudge, over here 5 grudge, 3, and so on and so on. And yes, as you can already guess, here when we have the cost of 0, this is something that the beast, for example, can do for free. After the night phase has finished, we will again go to the dawn phase, and that means that we will start the drafting again. So we will take all the action cards from the mutual discard pile of the hunters and the beast, and to that we're going to add all the unused action cards that we didn't use in the first dawn phase. So again, we will give it a good shuffle and we will distribute all the cards just like we saw in the first dawn phase. Another thing that we have in this game is something that is called ancient powers. So ancient powers are tokens that look like this, and we can gain them from playing different cards. Let's take an example. In this card, the Beastly Talent, when we flip it, we can see that we have a card called Hatred, and with this card, we're going to gain 1 ancient power. And that will be a good opportunity for me, guys, to show you another use of the grudges, okay? So it's not only for upgrading in the night phase, it is also being used in order to play a certain card or cards. When we play it, we will receive 1 ancient power. So we will take this ancient power from the main supply and we will put it next to our player mat. Ancient power is something that we will be using in order to increase our attack damage by 1. Before we're starting the attack, we need to declare that we're going to use this ancient power token. And after we have used that and saw what is the outcome of this fight or this damage, we're going to take it back and put it in the general supply. It's important to add that the summons that the beast has cannot use these ancient powers. The last thing that I would like to show you is these cards with this specific icon right over here. Here we have something that the beast or the hunters will be able to play as a reaction to an ability card that the hunters or the beast are playing. In this specific case, this is a card that the beast will be able to play when a hunter is playing the ability Hunt. So let's say, just for the example, that the beast current location is right over here, but it is still hidden from the hunters. And let's say that the hunter Helga decided to come to this place and perform the card that is called Hunt. As a reaction to this card, the beast will be able to play this card that is called Intuition in order to avoid the damage that the hunter will cause to it.